Hey everyone, this is Dave. We're going to get ready to melt some bronze down. Well, not melting the bronze today, we're going to make some. We're going to make about 1 kilogram, mixing lead, copper, and tin. So once everything heats up here, I'll be back and we will go through the process of making some bronze. I know it's a little hard to see in there, and don't mind the filthy oven here, but that is the crucible baking. We're going to be taking it to 400 degrees. And then we're going to hold it for 10 minutes. Then we will drag this outside and we will get playing. So I figure here while we're waiting on the crucible to heat up, I'll go over a few tools we have here. We have the ingot pan. My little infrared thermometer to prove that things are hot. It only goes up to 600 and we are going to be cooking around 1500. 15 to 1800. Inside this cap here I have some tin and lead that have been weighed out. My copper ingots, see they're a bit tarnished here. The rod I use to lift the lid with, as you can see right there, it gets very warm. If you can see the dark spots there, that's actually where the heat has turned the metal and off-gassed some of the zinc. Very dangerous to breathe. My poking rod, because I'm a child and I like to poke the molten metal. And my big bag of sand, which I'll be using as a fire suppressant if we do get one out of control. These types of things, you cannot use water, otherwise you could create a dangerous steam blow off here. So we should be back in about 5 minutes and we should have this whole thing fired up and ready to start cooking. Well guys, the crucible cup is in the foundry now. I just removed it from the heat. So I'm going to get my propane torch here. I'm going to set you guys down for a second. Kickstand on the thing. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, light my torch and get ready for the boom, boys and girls. Well, maybe. Can't see it too well, but I'm sure you can hear the foundry is fully lit. It is running a bit hard right now, but we are going to fix that problem by trying to blow the flame out of the tube here. It has this weird quirk where it likes to burn the tube, and I have to kind of blow it into the chamber. It burns better and it doesn't overheat. I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. We'll notice the sound change. So as I promised, we do have a bit of a sound change here. And you can now actually see the fire down in the crucible cup. And it just pushed back into the tube. I'll fix that here in a second. But once this gets to a few hundred degrees, probably around 500-600, I'm going to do some of the copper on video. And I'll be back with you guys here in a few minutes. Okay, as you can hear, the foundry is still firing away here. And I'm getting ready to drop some of the copper down in. We've reached probably about 650 to 700 degrees by my thermometer at the bottom of the crucible cup. So I'm going to try to set this right here. Yeah, maybe. There we go. And I'm going to take my set of log tongs here that I use to set the crucible cup down in. I'm going to use that to set the ingots down in. Five more to go. Oops, dropped that one, but it landed inside, so we're good to go. now we have all 6 copper ingots down in the crucible. And I'm going to go ahead and cap it back off. This process will take several minutes to reduce the copper down to its liquid state, as the melting point is quite high. I believe somewhere around 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So when we start to get a pull, I will be back and we'll see if we can get a good shot of some iridescent orange metal. I actually thought about showing how efficient this furnace actually is by getting a heat reading. See, I'm shining the laser down into the fire right here. The copper ingot is reading 500 or over 600 degrees now. The lid, just a few inches away, is only reading 100 and, well, you can see 150 and dropping. And the Venturi tube, reorient phone, is reading about 100 degrees, a little over. This right here should never exceed about 150 to 160 degrees. Otherwise, it's burning in the tube, and we have an issue that I have to push it back into the fire pot here. Okay, guys, you can see in the hole here, we got a lot of orange. It's probably been at least 15 minutes since the last clip, and we still have solid copper. I've just poked it a minute ago with my poking stick over there, and nothing's even soft, so we got a little ways to go. Hopefully I'll be back with you guys here within the half hour or so, I hope. Okay guys, if you look real close at the top left corner of the crucible cup there, that's actually molten copper. We've actually liquefied it now. Probably another 10 minutes and we'll have the entire cup liquid. Then we'll pull it out and I'll show that, and we'll introduce the other metals to it. I don't want to try to drop those in there. We're putting off around 2,000 degree heat. I cannot put my hand comfortably, let's see, I'm about a foot away from it. I'm still getting heat, so I definitely don't want to be sticking my hand in that thing right there. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to pull the crucible out here, and we'll introduce our little cup of metal here once we get it out, and I'll show you the inside of the pot before we pour it, and just so you can get an idea what the molten copper actually behaves like. And now it's not fully molten, but it's in a state where the tin's not going to introduce oxygen into the system, so I'm extremely comfortable doing it at this point. As you can see in there, you really can't see a whole hell of a lot because the copper is actually that bright. But we're going to get this metal poured in before we lose too much temperature. So we had a few splashes there. I don't know if you can see them or not. But now we're going to introduce this back into the crucible or into the foundry. Give it a quick stir. And put it back in the crucible or the foundry for a little while yet. We're still not ready yet. Woo boy! So we're looking pretty hot right here. Oop, grabbed the wrong end of the rod. And the reason we do it in that way is if you start heating the tin, it can actually absorb oxygen into the system, which will actually sacrifice some of the integrity of the metal. That's why we put the tin in molten metal, so it has no chance to actually pick anything up. Probably another 15-20 minutes here, and I'll get ready to pull it out for the final pour. And so we'll be back in. Hopefully we get a nice clean pour, and it all fits in one ingot. I'm really hoping. Oops, I guess I should have hit autofocus. So guys, we're back. I got the ingot mold here. The copper is at the proper consistency. We're going to get ready to pour this bad boy. So I'm going to try to position the camera here in a good place. So give me just a minute. I just wanted to update you guys before I just popped into it. Okay. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, when I took the lid off, we got a little bit of fire rising, which is normal. We'll reach on and grab this bad boy. Cut across the camera here. Move that torch. I really kind of have things way too close for comfort here, but here goes nothing. We actually got too much. We're going to have to wait till this one cools to finish pouring. The cooling process will take 5 to 10 minutes at the very best. And I'll show you the heat level still coming off this copper, or bronze now, sorry. It's even making my mold glow, which is impressive. See, we still got 600 degrees. This far away, we got over 600. This thing maxes out at 6. So, even the stone it's sitting on is around 200 degrees. And that stone there on the bottom was not preheated. So we're looking at a lot of heat transfer. Now you can see it's starting to die down. Once it gets glowing, we're looking 5 to 10 minutes if we don't quench it. At this point, I do not have enough water on me. I do not feel comfortable leaving the furnace alone that long to get water. So we're just gonna let it naturally cool and do its shrinking. As you can see, it's already starting to shrink here in the center, but it is solid. I'm actually putting probably 5-10 pounds of pressure into the surface there, and we are not going through it. So I think we're actually pretty good. Whenever this one cools and I can dump it out, actually, hell with it. Let's try dumping it. Oop, let me get this out of the right here. Yep, I have to leave it where it sits. That's fine. I don't give a shit. The big thing is we got to get this thing rotated and not drop it on the grass. It will ignite it pretty damn quick, and there we go. It actually come out easier. One of the easiest I've ever pulled out, actually. So a little bit of color change is probably just heat with the purples. That's not a natural color of any of them, so I'd say it's just me not quenching it, and it's actually staining the bottom of the mold here. So it could be a little bit of residual lead. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So I'm just going to leave it as is and get ready to pour the second one. It's going to be a lot smaller. We're going to have a little bit of slag. Slag is just some byproduct that we can't do anything with. That's it. So I'm going to set the crucible back down in the pot, in the foundry, just to let them cool both at the same time. I'm going to shut my gas off here and shut it off my propane tank off camera. That, guys and girls, that is pouring the bronze ingot from scratch. As you can see here, we do have some of this slag. It's still growing red hot. There's probably a little bit of material in there right now, a little bit of copper, maybe a tad trace of tin or lead. I do keep that. If I ever do decide to recycle it, I will then. You can see a little bit in the bottom there. That's what was left over. And again, our big ingot here. Let's get the thing on it. Still over almost 400 degrees. So that's pretty good. It's actually cooling off faster than I expected. Let's just flip them over for posterity. If I can get them to behave and not fall on the grass. So that's about the color we're looking for. I have other ingots that are about the same color. And if I remember right, they did do the purple too. And that's just a little bit of surface corrosion. That'll come off if I would polish them or scrape them. I have no intention of doing, because these ingots are not, this ingot here at least is not going to survive till tomorrow. It's going to be fed to the foundry tomorrow in the AM, I hope, sometime, or early PM. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and I do know I was not wearing the proper safety gear. I am comfortable enough doing it, I do believe. I've only been burnt a time or two by doing stupid stuff, like grabbing that lid right there. So yeah, leather boots, long pants, jacket, FR, ready to close better, but I'm not doing that. Thanks for watching, guys.